Hi, my name is Ivan, and in the previous video I showed you how I prototyped the skeleton of my new game using only basic geometric shapes. And in this devlog you'll see how I applied the new pixel art meat to these rattling bones. This here is the mockup I made, in which I tried to design the backgrounds, the main character and enemies. The enemy designs closest to the center are the ones I was happy with, and all the other ones represent the evolution path they had to take in order to get to that stage. Now let's get to importing everything from that image into the game. After simply replacing all the placeholder images and some animations, this is more or less what the game began to look like. There were some issues here and there, but still, having a skeleton that I could put some skin over was really useful when it came to quickly testing the new art. One of the things that bothered me the most at the time were gunshot particles, which were glued to the turret. I really don't like it when games do that, so I had to fix it in my game ASAP. If you're using Unity like me, all you have to do to separate particles from a game object is not making them a child of that object. And this is what this change looks like in the game. The particles stay where they were spawned and aren't magically bound to the player character anymore. Nice! The next thing to fix were explosions, which suddenly began occupying 2 enemy lanes instead of 1. Since I knew I'd have to throw it away sooner or later anyway, I didn't want to fiddle with the temporary red rectangle I used as an explosion and turned it into the first ever proper non-player animation in Turret Rampage. This is what it looked like in the beginning, and this is what it became when I decided that if I'm going to make an explosion, I gotta make it big! Anyway, in this footage you can also see another new animation, which is the turret rotating left and right. And to finish the main turret animations, here's the third attack, Artificial Earthquake. Since this game uses only 8 colors, I thought that opacity might help me separate the earthquake animation from the explosion which I showed earlier. But in the end I just became even more convinced that in 9 out of 10 times the terms pixel art and opacity should not even be used in the same sentence, let alone the same artwork. After the earthquake was done, it was high time to visualize how it forced the Burrowers to pop out of hiding. And since I was already there, I also gave the Burrowers a walk animation and made them explode into a shower of body parts upon getting hit. I love making such particles collide with the terrain, and I used this trick to make one of my previous games feel a lot nicer. But for Turret Rampage, that definitely did not help me reduce the visual clutter. Thus, this is the only video I have where the body parts still follow the laws of physics. In all the newer versions, they just fall out of the screen. The next animation I successfully failed was an electric barrier. Before introducing barriers, it seemed like the enemies were just attacking thin air for no reason at all. To make the game feel right, I had to place something between the player and the enemies. Something that the turret's rockets could pass through, but the enemies could not. On paper, the electric barrier perfectly fit the bill. But in reality it was too ugly and had to be nuked for that! The next version of a barrier are these subtle shields, which probably won't even catch your eye until an enemy damages them. Perfect, that's just how I wanted them to be. Another thing I added together with these barriers are the UI elements. And this time, my love for symmetry played a bad joke on me. Yeah, I know, the timer with its numbers split in half and the health bar that's duplicated for no reason are rather confusing. But unfortunately, I can't have it any other way. My brain won't let me even touch these elements now. Finally, to end this video on the same note as the previous one, here is the reworked pause menu. The game now plays a little 2-frame animation while it's waiting for you to get back to it. Oh, and did I mention this game has no text? Yeah, well, this game has no text except for the names in the credits. Now you know. For me, it just suits the minimalist color palette and simple gameplay of games like this. And it's a blessing for localization purposes, obviously. I used a similar approach in at least 3 more projects of mine, and I intend to make more no-text games in the future. In the 21st century, I think words are highly overrated. The new generation is talking in pictures, damn it! We gotta keep up! Anyway, that's it for today. In the next devlog, I'll show you how I kept enhancing the visuals of Turret Rampage. I hope I'll see you there. Farewell.